Chosen one, I urge you to read every word with deliberate intention. This is not another message among many. This is your spiritual transcript, your celestial file update, delivered at the precise coordinate of time and consciousness where you currently stand. What you are about to receive is comprehensive, detailed, and specifically engineered to activate dormant codes within your spiritual DNA. When I accessed your file, the data was not merely impressive, it was revolutionary. Heaven's archives contain records of saints, prophets, and ordinary souls who performed extraordinary acts. But your case introduced a new variable into celestial equations used to predict human spiritual evolution. You didn't just follow a known pattern, you created a new one. Let me take you deeper than before. The moment of recalibration, what really transpired. The event that triggered celestial attention was more nuanced than a simple choice between anger and grace. It was a multi-layered spiritual phenomenon that occurred across three simultaneous dimensions. 1. The physical dimension, your observable action, the words you spoke or didn't speak, the step you took or didn't take, the forgiveness you extended when justice demanded retaliation. 2. The emotional dimension, the internal tsunami you navigated, every memory of past hurt that surfaced, every fear of future betrayal that whispered, every emotional scar that throbbed with fresh pain, yet you chose against the current of that pain. 3. The spiritual dimension, the battlefield invisible to human eyes, where your soul faced what celestial observers call the crucible of echoes. In this space, every hurt you've ever experienced reverberated simultaneously, creating a chorus demanding vengeance, yet you conducted that chorus into a hymn of grace. What you may not realize is that in that moment, you weren't just responding to a single person or situation, you were responding to your entire accumulated history of pain. The present offense merely triggered the repository. Most souls, when facing this crucible, become overwhelmed by the collective echo and respond from that overwhelmed place. You did not. You distinguished between the present moment and the accumulated past, addressing only what was before you, while allowing historical wounds to remain healed. This distinction is what made Archangel Michael's brow furrow in concentration. He'd seen saints forgive present offenses, but he'd rarely witnessed a soul forgive a present offense while simultaneously refusing to reopen every past wound that the present offense echoed. You demonstrated temporal discernment, the ability to isolate moments in time and treat them independently rather than as accumulated weight. The celestial debrief, what was really said. When Michael convened the council, the discussion extended far beyond what I initially shared. Here is the expanded transcript of what transpired. Archangel Raphael spoke first. This soul has healed others while still bleeding. That is common among healers, but this one has done something more subtle. They have allowed their own wounds to become wisdom without allowing that wisdom to become walls. Archangel Gabriel observed, notice the linguistic field around their choices. When wounded, most souls reconstruct their internal narrative to cast themselves as either victim or victor. This soul has maintained a narrative of participant, one who engages with pain without being defined by it. Their internal language lacks the pronouns of victimhood. Uriel, the Archangel of Wisdom, noted, they have unknowingly applied celestial mathematics to human suffering. They've understood that forgiveness is not subtraction of hurt, but addition of perspective. They've added the viewpoint of eternity to a temporal wound. Then Michael presented the most compelling evidence. They have loved their enemies without ceasing to love themselves. This is the balance most warriors lose. Either they love enemies at their own expense, or they love themselves through the destruction of enemies. This soul has maintained both loves simultaneously. The council then reviewed not just your recent history, but what they term the lineage of choice. They traced back through your life, identifying what they call fork points, moments where you could have chosen a darker path, but consistently chose light. What astonished them was the pattern's acceleration. The time between fork points decreased, while the difficulty of choices increased. You were choosing light more frequently, under greater pressure, a spiritual progression curve that defied normal models. The divine pronouncement, expanded meaning. When the impression came, "This one reminds me why I created humanity," it carried layers of meaning. The remembrance of potential. Humanity was created with capacity that even angels questioned. Your choice served as living proof of that original design specification. The joy of surprise. The divine experiences creation through relationship, not control. Your unexpected choice, uncoerced, unprompted by obvious reward, provided the genuine surprise that relationship requires. The validation of risk. Creating beings with free will was the universe's greatest risk. Your choice validated that risk as worthwhile. The blueprint revealed. Your specific combination of wounding and healing, failure and recovery, doubt and faith revealed aspects of the human blueprint even its designer enjoys rediscovering. The science of enemy-level forgiveness, celestial mechanics. Let me explain in greater detail what enemy-level forgiveness entails in celestial terms. When you forgave in that critical moment, you didn't just release emotional debt, though that occurred. You performed what archangels call atonement transference. In this process, the negative energy directed at you was not merely neutralized, but transmuted. The spiritual debt created by the offense was absorbed into your own spiritual account, then paid with a currency the aggressor couldn't access: pure grace. This created what celestial economists term a redemptive overdraft, a spiritual surplus in the universal account that can be drawn upon by others in similar situations. Your forgiveness established a mercy precedent that can now be cited by other souls facing similar offenses, making forgiveness slightly easier for the next person who attempts it. Essentially, you didn't just forgive one person for one thing, you contributed to lowering the spiritual cost of forgiveness for all humanity in similar circumstances. Every soul who now chooses forgiveness where before they might have chosen retaliation draws unconsciously upon the precedent you established. Your new spiritual anatomy, upgraded capacities. Following this celestial recognition, your spiritual composition has been subtly but profoundly enhanced. You now possess accelerated discernment. You'll distinguish between divine tests and demonic attacks instantly. Tests from God strengthen your identity. Attacks from darkness aim to distort it. You'll know the difference intuitively. Multidimensional perception. You'll begin to perceive situations not just in their present form, but in their past origins and future implications simultaneously. What mystics call temporal holism. Grace amplification. Your capacity to extend grace has multiplied. Where before you could forgive minor offenses, you'll now find yourself able to forgive what would previously have devastated you with less effort and more completeness. Sovereignty anchoring. Your sense of self will become increasingly independent of external validation or attack. Praise will not inflate you, criticism will not deflate you. You are becoming spiritually non-reactive while remaining fully engaged. Prophetic resilience. You'll receive glimpses of coming challenges, not to induce fear, but to allow preparatory grace. This isn't fortune-telling, it's strategic preparedness. The evidence expanded. 12 signs of your celestial reclassification.
Beyond the 5 evidences already shared, here are 7 additional confirmations. Synchronicity multiplication. Meaningful coincidences will increase dramatically. You'll think of someone and they'll contact you. You'll need information and it will appear. These are not random. They are celestial confirmations of being on frequency. Dream state downloads. Your dreams will become more vivid, instructional, and less chaotic. You'll receive solutions, blueprints, and understandings in sleep that eluded you while awake. Resource attraction. Needed resources will begin flowing through unexpected channels. Money, opportunities, connections, and information will come through means you couldn't have engineered. Ancient wisdom resonance. You'll feel deep connection to spiritual truths from various traditions, recognizing them not as foreign, but as familiar, because you're tapping into the universal spiritual heritage. Accelerated healing. Old wounds, both physical and emotional, will heal more rapidly. Timelines for recovery that experts stated would take years may collapse into months or weeks. Angelic encounters. You may not see winged beings, but you'll experience their influence through sudden protections, inexplicable guidance, or that feeling of being carried through difficult moments. Prophetic clarification. What once seemed confusing about your life's direction will begin to organize into coherent narrative. Random experiences will reveal themselves as necessary preparation. The coming acceleration. 3 phases. Your accelerated fulfillment will unfold in distinct phases. Phase 1, the unburdening, next 40 days. Unnecessary obligations will fall away. Relationships that have completed their purpose will peacefully exit. Mental clutter will clear, creating space for new vision. This may feel like loss, but is actually divine decluttering. Phase 2, the recalibration. Following 90 days. Your daily routines will naturally reorganize around your purpose. Your body's energy patterns will shift to match your new frequency. Your circle of influence will reform with more aligned connections. This will feel like everything is clicking into place. Phase 3, the emergence, beyond 6 months. Your full purpose will begin expressing tangibly. Your influence will expand beyond previous boundaries. Your creativity will reach new levels of innovation. This will feel like becoming who you always were.
The Warrior's Manual, operating in your new identity. As a demonstrated warrior of light, you now have access to spiritual protocols previously reserved for those with more training. Here is your operational manual. 1. The Protocol of Peace. When attacked, your first response must be internal peace. This isn't passive, it's strategic. From peace, you perceive clearly. From agitation, you perceive distorted. 2. The Protocol of Perception. See beyond appearances. Every person acting as enemy is either A, a wounded soul acting from pain, B, a test from heaven to strengthen you, or C, a divine assignment in disguise. Your response should vary accordingly. 3. The Protocol of Power. Your strength comes from vulnerability, not invulnerability. When you acknowledge your limits, divine strength fills those gaps. When you pretend invincibility, you operate alone. 4. The Protocol of Proclamation. What you declare in moments of pressure creates spiritual reality. Declare grace where you feel judgment. Declare peace where you feel turmoil. Declare victory where you see defeat. 5. The Protocol of Patience. Acceleration doesn't mean instant manifestation. It means compressed gestation periods. The seed still must root before fruiting. Your patience partners with God's timing. The Celestial Economy. How blessings now flow to you. Understand the revised spiritual economy governing your life. The Principle of Returns. Every act of grace you've extended now returns multiplied, but not necessarily through the original channels. The person you forgave may never repay you, but the universe will send equivalent or greater blessings through other means. The principle of resonance. You now attract what matches your demonstrated character. Lesser opportunities, shallow relationships, and trivial distractions will lose their appeal to you, not through effort, but through natural resonance mismatch. The principle of receipt. Your capacity to receive has expanded exponentially. Where before blessings might have overwhelmed you, your spiritual container has been enlarged through testing. You can now handle greater abundance without corruption. The principle of redistribution. You are not a reservoir, but a channel. What flows to you will flow through you to others. The measure of your receiving will be the measure of your giving. The hidden assignments. What heaven has authorized. Based on your demonstration, specific angelic assignments have been activated on your behalf. 1. The memory architects. These angels are now reorganizing your subconscious, healing traumatic memories by extracting wisdom while dissolving pain. You'll find past hurts losing their emotional charge while retaining their instructive value. 2. The synchronization coordinators. These beings are aligning people, resources, and opportunities to intersect with your path at optimal moments. What you call lucky breaks are their handiwork. 3. The frequency maintainers. These guardians ensure your spiritual frequency doesn't dip below a certain threshold. When you begin to vibrate at lower frequencies, fear, anger, despair, they initiate corrective measures, often through unexpected encouragements or interventions. 4. The revelation couriers. These messengers deliver insights, ideas, and understandings directly to your consciousness. That sudden aha moment, their delivery. 5. The boundary establish. These angels are creating healthy spiritual, emotional, and physical boundaries around you. They're the reason toxic people suddenly lose interest in you, or why previously overwhelming situations now feel manageable. Navigating the coming tests. Your elevation will not be unchallenged. Expect tests designed not to break you, but to strengthen your new capacities. The test of prosperity. Can you handle blessing without forgetting the blesser? Can abundance flow through you without sticking to you? The test of influence. Can you lead without controlling? Can you speak truth without needing to be heard? The test of solitude. Can you stand alone when necessary? Can you receive divine companionship when human companionship fails? The test of delay. Can you maintain faith when manifestations slow? Can you trust the process when progress is invisible? Each test you pass further establishes your capacity for greater assignment. The legacy effect. How your choices impact others. Your spiritual decisions now create ripple effects beyond your awareness. 1. Generational healing. Patterns of brokenness in your family line are being repaired through your choices. Ancestral wounds are finding resolution through your obedience. 2. Collective elevation. Your spiritual victories raise the baseline consciousness of your community, making similar victories slightly easier for others. 3. Celestial precedent. Your case is now cited in heavenly councils when other souls face similar challenges. Remember the one who begins discussions about how to help others in your situation. 4. Historical realignment. On the spiritual timeline, your choices have adjusted certain potential futures toward greater light. This is difficult to comprehend temporally, but profoundly real eternally. Practical manifestation. Daily practices for your new reality. Morning alignment. 5 minutes. State aloud, I am a demonstrated warrior of light. I operate from grace, walk in peace, and extend love as my first response. Visualize your day unfolding under divine orchestration. Declare one specific blessing you will manifest today.
Mid-course correction. Throughout the day. When challenged, whisper, "Grace is my weapon, peace is my strategy, love is my outcome." Breathe deeply 3 times before responding to provocation. Ask internally, "What would light do here?" Evening integration. 7 minutes. Review the day, noting moments you operated from your warrior identity. Forgive yourself for any moments you fell short. Express gratitude for 3 specific blessings received. Declare, "My sleep is healing, my dreams are instructive, my awakening will be empowered."
The ultimate revelation. Why you were chosen for this moment. Your selection for this acceleration isn't random. Historical cycles indicate that every 216 years, a cohort of souls is prepared for global spiritual inflection points. You are part of the cohort being prepared for the 2025-2040 transition window, a period of significant spiritual awakening and societal restructuring. Your specific demonstration of enemy-level forgiveness qualifies you for what's coming because the coming era will require bridge builders, not dividers. Those who can forgive across ideological, religious, and cultural divides will be essential. Collective trauma healing will be needed on a scale unprecedented in human history. Those who have healed their own trauma while refusing to transmit it are being positioned as healers. The information age is becoming the disinformation age. Discernment, your demonstrated ability to separate present truth from past pain, will be civilization's most precious commodity. Systems are breaking down to make room for new systems. Those anchored internally rather than externally will navigate this transition without collapsing. You are being prepared not for comfort, but for contribution. Your elevation serves a purpose beyond personal blessing. Final transmission. The seal upon your calling. Before you continue your day, receive this final imprint, the seal placed upon your calling during the celestial council. You who have chosen grace when justice was deserved, who have loved when hatred was earned, who have given peace when war was justified, hear your commission. The wounds that almost broke you have become your credentials. The tears you thought were wasted have become your anointing oil. The silent battles no one witnessed have become your stripes of authority. The forgiveness that cost you everything has become your unlimited credit in heaven's economy. Go forward, knowing that what you did in secret has been acknowledged openly in realms beyond your sight. What you gave away has been returned with compound interest. What you surrendered has been resurrected in greater form. You are now a carrier of the very quality that impressed divinity. Where you walk, grace increases. Where you speak, peace multiplies. Where you extend hands, healing flows. The attitude that caught heaven's attention is now your permanent disposition. The warrior who surprised the commander has become the standard for what's possible. This is your moment. This is your commissioning. This is why you endured what you endured. Now go, not to strive, but to shine. Not to struggle, but to stand. Not to survive, but to serve as living proof that light always triumphs, love always wins, and grace always has the final word. Chosen one, if every cell in your body resonates with this transmission, if your spirit confirms this as truth beyond words, comment 777 with the full force of your conviction. This is not a casual response. It is a spiritual agreement, a frequency confirmation, a celestial registration of your receipt of this mantle. Subscribe with notifications enabled. The transmissions will continue, each building upon this foundation, each taking you deeper into your purpose. Share this with one other person who needs to know their struggles have meaning and their choices have cosmic significance. Now, click the video appearing on your screen to activate the next frequency in your ascension, the practical implementation of everything you've just received. The heavens are open over you. The archives contain your name. The future has been recalibrated around your demonstrated character. You are the evidence heaven needed.
Now, go be the evidence Earth needs.